All right, welcome to Comedians Uncorked, Uncut. I'm Pat Largo, and this is a special night because if you watch some of the videos that I have on my YouTube channel and my Comedians Uncorked page on Facebook, I have the pleasure of talking with male and female comics around the country and pretty soon around the world, and it's just a blast. And today I get two of my favorites here. We have from Comedy Central and Blue Collar Comedy, Mr. Reno Collier is here with us, and also. And thanks for coming in, man. And he's a former New Jersey judge, current lawyer. He works on The Daily Show. He's a warm-up comic, and he opens for Trevor Noah. Mr. Vince August is with us. So thanks so much, guys.
Oh, yeah. Man, good to be here.
And we just were talking about it just off camera beforehand about all the craziness going on nowadays. So I always like to start out by saying this. How are you guys individually doing with all the silliness and the pandemic stuff going on nowadays? I'll go with
dying.
You're dying, right?
I guess that's a bad joke. So I probably already offended somebody. There's really people dying out there, man. Dying.
That joke was so bad.
Yeah, I know, right?
Mask on right now.
Yeah. Neither one of you jerks has a mask on.
Oh. I know. The other jerk has a fake microphone that's not plugged into anything, just to make me feel like I'm on stage.
You know what? How about this?
This isn't plugged in anything either.
Hey, look at me. I'm Pat Largo. I got on big headphones.
and my mic envy. Look at this sucker. So on a serious note, though, let me go, Reno, real quick. With the pandemic going on, how many people has your governor killed so far?
Dude, I have no idea.
I'm just kidding.
Probably 100 or something. I don't know. It's probably a bunch. Tennessee is different, and the cool thing about this is you're in Florida, he's in New York. Are you in New York or New Jersey?
Jersey, but right on the border, so I'm gonna hit both states.
And I'm in Tennessee. I mean, all three places are acting completely different right now.
Yeah.
You know? I went to a little shopping center place to get lunch today in Brentwood, which is like the ritzier part of Nashville. Masks everywhere. Everybody has to have a mask. You don't have a mask on, you're driving with a mask. You put on a mask. You want to eat through the freaking mask. A mask. And in Murfreesboro, where I live, people are like, hey, man, what's going on? I mean, there's no face cover except for this. There's people don't care. It's like, the government's making it up. There ain't no thing, it's not real. It's so weird how there's pockets, because like in New Jersey, you guys are still locked down, right?
Well, we just added the mask mandatory thing now outdoors, which is pretty wild considering that we're at our lowest rate since this thing started. But Murphy's saying, hey, look, stuff's going sideways in Texas, which is a half a country away. But hey, let's use that as an example for me to just be more of an authoritarian and just, bully pulpit. It's crazy. It makes no sense. Our numbers are, And the best was, I love when he said this. He goes, by the way, when we report, confirmed deaths every day, that's not how many people died yesterday. That's just how many people now that we know scientifically have been confirmed to have died from this thing. And we just updated our numbers. And someone said yesterday, literally, the number of people that died was like 5.
Yeah.
It was like something really ridiculously low. And, he's like, well, it's 50 confirmed since March. But, hey. Data determines dates, and we're still locked down.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
Woo! This right here, our governor's like, we're opening schools in the fall. I don't care who's dying anywhere. By the way, strip clubs, we'll keep them 50% capacity. We got to have some entertainment for the dads who drop the kids off during the day to school. And then after that, we've got 3 stories in the last few days, right before we have mandatory interior masks. Every story, if you go inside, you have to wear a mask. One guy right before this happened threatened to shoot up a Publix, one of our grocery stores down here, because not enough people were wearing masks. So he gave a written note to the cashier saying, I'm going to kill people here because this is happening.
People are acting totally normal. I mean, the whole world is upside down. It's like,
but I got to tell you, I love southern states for that, because you know what? You got to be careful when there's a concealed carry state.
Oh, yeah.
See, Right. Up here, we can be a little bit cavalier because you're going to have to literally fist fight somebody. But in a concealed carry state, you get stupid. Let me tell you, coronavirus is going to be the last of your problems.
Yeah, we'll shoot you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't go to the hospital unless you have coronavirus. So you better hope the guy coughs on you after he shoots you.
Right. And if you do get shot and you have coronavirus, it's not the bullet that killed you. It's coronavirus that killed you.
It's COVID. That's a COVID death.
Yeah.
It's all incentivized.
It's upside down. And people they're not only are we going through this mass hysteria of COVID, but then people are just going berserk on other stuff. Like if you I wasn't going to talk about politics. If you protest, you're a savior. You're saving the world. But
Depends
if you're
what you're
outside and
protesting.
you're not protesting, you're the biggest asshole that ever. They're killing people, but the protesters aren't. What I can't wrap my head around. Either we don't protest and we don't go out, or we can do what we want.
But it depends what you're protesting. It depends which side of protest you're on, because the coronavirus knows which protesters to go after. This is the smartest virus I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it knows exactly who to target and which rallies to go to.
Yeah, and it jumps around, and then it votes.
Yeah, right.
It's got a conscience, and then it cancels people and tells people to shut up, and then it decides you can talk, and all you need is hydrochloroform or whatever that stuff is. I mean,
coronavirus is woke. That's what it is. It's woke. It's a woke virus.
It is, and that's so sweet. And I love everybody. Like, you know, like I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I wouldn't say anything about anybody, because politically we should all just love, and whatever the fuck people are peddling, it's bizarre world. Yeah. It's completely freaking, and the messages we get from the media are so out of whack. Like one day it's, you know, one medicine is going to do that. Now the medicine's garbage. Well, wait, if you take this, it cuts the death rate in half for that hydrochloroquine. Yeah.
Then there's
that
remdesivir and
it's supposed to cut the death rate in half. But they go, oh, well, you can't take it. Well, guess what? We've been giving it to our military. I did shows in Djibouti, Africa, and all those guys are taking it to not get malaria and to fight off malaria. They don't know. It's all garbage. It's all political. There's no more news. It's all somebody's opinion.
And it's funny because whenever you throw race into the topic and people like, you know, where do you stand on race? I'm like, listen, I judge people based on one criteria. Either you're the type of person that goes to comedy shows or you don't. Yeah. And if you go to comedy shows, I like you. If you don't, I have no use for you at any point in my life.
Brilliant. I love that.
And
now I'm not allowed. Now I'm not allowed to dislike anybody. I can't watch sports or anything, because if I say I don't like somebody, you know, misses a tackle, I'm a jerk because they have some problem or they have they're making millions of, you know what I mean? They're making tons of money. I can't be mad at anybody except for white people. I don't care what color you are. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. And I don't like you for that reason. I've never disliked somebody because of the color of their skin or because of a choice they made or anything. But I'm starting to hate everybody. I hate white people. I am a bigot. I hate white people that get on TV and are elitist snobs. These Antifa guys that are running around destroying things, hijacking. This whole thing started because somebody was treated unjustly and unfairly, and we should all be treated the same, right? Everybody should. And if you're not, that needs to be fixed. But that's forgotten about when people are burning Target.
Hey, listen, you're talking to a guy who started out as a criminal defense attorney and practiced criminal defense law for 15 years before I became a judge in a criminal court. And then, you know, I had my whole issue. And then after that, after 6 years of being a judge, went back and I'm back to being a criminal defense attorney. I'm like, you know, it's amazing. I have fought this fight pretty much my entire professional career. But you know what? That doesn't matter, because the first thing that people see when they look at me is, well, you're a white guy. You don't have a say in this. Don't have a say in this. Right. I've been working on criminal reform laws long before this became an issue. New Jersey was one of the first states that started with changing our state police because of the police requirements. We had a huge case in the firm I worked with to fight the racism in state police. I'm like, shit, I've been doing this since the 90s.
Right.
I don't want to hear this from you now. Now you're going to judge me because just what I look like. I've been fighting this fight before some of these kids were even alive.
Right.
And
Dude, a guy said the other day, we were, and I try not to get into these conversations because I really, with people I don't know, but he goes, you know, they're tearing down, all the Confederate statues, and they got Christopher Columbus. And I was like, what? And he goes, they even tore down Christopher Columbus. They got all the Confederates. I'm like, you think Christopher Columbus was a Confederate?
And, you know, I have to be honest, there's not a statue I really give a shit enough about
Right.
that it's going to affect my life. Like, listen, I see Statue of Liberty in the harbor pretty much every time I go to and from the city. And if someone was like, we're going to tear it down, I'd be like, all right, well, see you later, bitch. I mean, it doesn't affect me.
you know
Right.
what
I don't make decisions based on the statues I pass going to or from anywhere.
Right. Like when I was, and I don't know if have you ever done USO stuff? And
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, did you go to Iraq and?
I've done all the bases here. I've never been asked to go overseas.
Okay. So in Iraq, when we were there, they had torn down the statue of Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because it's a transfer of power, right? That guy was there. We're tearing it down because he's out and we're coming in. Tearing down Christopher Columbus, I could care less about Christopher Columbus. His day, I get half off of a mattress. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It means nothing to me. But tearing stuff down like that, one, isn't going to change history. Two, doesn't help a cause. There's no cause. Take the statues and stick them in a museum and let them be historic artifacts and get them off the street. I'm with you, man. I could care less. But that's not helping anything.
No, it's not. And then what do you do with the country Colombia?
Right. Right.
Go ahead. Deal with that now.
Yeah.
Change everything. Exactly.
It's a waste of time, man.
I agree.
The only statues I would get really offended with if they mess around, you know, those Greek ones with the chicks with no arms but the big titties?
Yeah.
Love those. Second of all, I don't care what they discovered, but that was fantastic.
Do they have both? Do they have both boobs, or is it?
No, they get both boobs, and for some reason, no arms. I don't know what they did.
They almost never have a head.
Yeah, it was kinky as shit, apparently. So,
Yeah,
but here's another thing I was talking about with a friend of mine recently. When I was seeing these news, the videos about protesters, you know, the peaceful ones, hog tying statues and literally pulling them to the ground, I go, is that, like, that's just, like, legal? I didn't see cops. Like, it takes a while to rope it and get it off its stand. I didn't see any officers like can I just go down here to where I live in Florida and go, yeah, I don't like this thing with this statue of whatever. I'm just going to yank them down. Like, I didn't see any repercussions. Like,
dude, I don't know who's telling the cops to leave them alone.
I don't know.
If you break the law, you're destroying somebody else's property.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. There's no around that. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can tear it.
It depends the property it's on. So if it's on county property, that's a county issue. Town property, town. Now, if it's on federal property, well, Trump just signed an executive order saying, no, that you can't do. And they really are prosecuting these people. I mean, you know, it's amazing with face recognition. I mean, even with helmets and goggles, they're finding these people.
Yeah, one chick had a tattoo on her hand.
Yeah. We can't find the 400,000 kids that go missing every year, but you wear a helmet, a goggle, and you tear down a statue in the dark, they'll find your ass. What the
hilarious.
fuck?
They did that.
Wait, so what's the deal with the county? So you are allowed to tear them down if they're on a county? Is that what you said?
Pretty much. It's fine.
You're the only judge I've ever seen take bong hits in the middle of an interview.
Nice. Well, Vince is very liberal.
I'm living because it's that fucking ridiculous.
Hang on, let me do a spit take. Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's that fucking ridiculous. So if George Washington is on federal property, you can't touch it. It's not a federal offense. But if he's on county property, well, then you got to ask the county executive or whoever's in charge of the county to see if he's going to enforce the same national. There's no rhyme or reason to any of this shit. And I'm like, remember the dude who got killed by the cop? Did we forget about him?
That's what I was saying.
Which one?
You always, and whenever this shit happens, we always land on statues.
Right.
It's like a human Monopoly game. We always land on Park Place and statues, for Christ's sake.
We fucking wind up on the statue border, but now we have to roll double sixes to get out. What the fuck?
Oh, I'm still stuck on COVID-19. Let me tell you something. I've been out of work since March 6th of this year, and with these federal payments coming in and some of this unemployment, I'm about 2 pandemics away from retiring. This is
I haven't got a penny. I filed after, I got furloughed from the Daily Show, and God knows the tour's been gone, and who knows when the tour's coming back. I'm taking a beating. I filed April 27th. I haven't gotten so much as an email from New Jersey.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I do is I email
construction.
Yeah. I email my senator every day.
I tried to call people. I got the numbers. I went to the office. They're closed. You need to go back and call them. I call the number. They tell me to go to the office. I go to the office. It's almost like they wear you down until you just quit. And my buddy, thank God, is a contractor, and I've worked construction before. It's been years ago. I've absolutely loved it, but I haven't gotten a penny from the government.
No.
And I don't. You know what? Quite frankly, I don't want it.
Oh no, I want it because you know what?
I did. But I don't, because I'm able-bodied, I have an opportunity to work. I don't want to take it out.
No, I'm going to tell you why I want it. Because when you shut down comedy clubs and you shut down arenas and say it's not safe, and then at the same time you say, you know what, but Target can be open and some of these other places can be open, fine. Then let me do a show in fucking Target.
Right.
And at night in Target, let's go in there. Let's spread people out in Target. Give me a stage. So it's such an arbitrary decision that they've made as to which businesses they're going to save or not save. That to me, it's all right. Well, fine. You want to play this game? Then you know what? Compensate me for it until you can prove to me that because our big thing right now in Jersey is indoors just isn't safe. We have the science to prove it, but they never tell you what the science is. Because there's never been this illness. So where the fuck did you conduct this experiment on comedy clubs and indoor dining to say, look, here are the results that we got. But by the way, nobody who was outside protesting got it, but people at the fucking beach got it. Come on, man.
You know what, dude? If I get in trouble in New Jersey, you are my lawyer.
Yeah. From what I'm hearing, I can go up there and have a hell of a time. I thought Florida was fucked up, but Jersey's the place.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable, man. And fiscally, we're a disaster. We're 49th in the country. Our roads are we're the 48th worst roads and infrastructure. Our taxes are through the roof. Dude, I can't wait to move. I really can. I'm at a point where I'm like, get me anywhere and I hate to say it, but you know what? I know I'm going to get crucified by this. I'd rather move to a red state where they're just like, fuck it. You know what? We're going to wind up dead because we're going to wind up dead anyway. But don't let me live half of a life. Let me at least enjoy. But you know what? There's people you're compromising. No, I'm not. Because if you're afraid, fucking stay home.
Right. Sweden did it.
Yeah.
Sweden was like, if you're compromised, if you're elderly, you stay at home. If not, kids, get your ass to school. And they're pretty much.
South Dakota did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was it? One meatpacking plant or whatever. And then everyone started going crazy on South Dakota. Then all of a sudden it didn't spread. And they're like, oh, shit, let's not talk about South Dakota anymore. Because that's what we do. So Sweden was like, oh, but it's different. They're a homogeneous society and they're less people. And then they started spiking. See, fucking Sweden sucks. And then it leveled off and we're like, we can't compare ourselves to Sweden anymore. It's like, come on, man. Knock that shit off.
It's terrible.
I did a quick news thing with a show in New Zealand last night. I know. Career's taken off.
Yeah.
New Zealand. And
can't walk down the street in New Zealand. Pat Largo gets recognized everywhere.
Him and Russell Crowe.
I did the creepy thing. The female producer, I couldn't see her, but I heard that cool New Zealand, that Kiwi accent. I looked her up on Facebook. She was really cute, so I really feel like a 50-year-old pervert.
Yeah.
They were talking about with the COVID thing. I mentioned two stories here in Florida. And they said, well, listen, we're doing pretty good here in New Zealand. What do you think we can do to keep it that way? I said, well, do what you're doing. And if you hear any Americans knocking on your door, man, just turn the light off and close the drapes and don't let us in because we'll fuck your shit up. We don't know. We can't take good directions here in America.
No.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not about the whole we're the greatest time. I'm just saying, hey, man, we can be quiet for a second. Just listen. I'm not huge on these things, but if a doctor says, hey, man, give us 4 to 6 weeks of just wearing this like everywhere and it'll do stuff, like it'll do good things, I'll give you 4 to 6 weeks.
I'll go one further.
Yeah.
If you tell me right now, listen, Vin, you're the president. What are you going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what. Everyone, food shop like a fucking bandit. Because August 1st, I want your house stockpiled. August 1st to August 31st, no one's leaving their house. No one's leaving their property. There's not going to be a store or nothing is open. Gas station, you can't go fucking anywhere 1 month. And you know what? Where's your illness then? Because if you're telling me about social distancing, you tell me this thing is dead in 2 weeks. If we literally lock down, I mean, no one goes anywhere for 1 month, we're out of this thing. I would sign up for that as opposed to this, we're going to loosen, we're going to tighten, we're going to loosen. No. Then we should have just shut the fucker down all the way hard. Back in March, I was saying this. Shut it down hard. This way, April, we're ready to go. I would rather do that than play this yo-yo bullshit.
Me too, man. Me too. Just be honest. And if you don't know, don't say anything. You know what I mean? They didn't know from the beginning. Fauci the other day is getting interviewed with a mask on. As soon as they go, the interview's over, he takes his mask off just like it's nothing. It's like, dude, are you worried about it?
He didn't know the camera was off.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's great. I go to a local brewery, which is closed down now because they don't serve food, so you can only buy the growlers to take home and everything. So I go in, this is about a week and a half ago, to meet some friends. It's like 5 in the afternoon, and they're sitting about 10 to 12 feet just inside the front door at the bar area, 50% capacity. I walk in, and I did forget my mask, and the bartender goes, hey, you got your mask? I go, yeah. I go, you want me to walk 30 yards back out to my car to get a mask that I'm going to wear from the threshold of the door to 10 to 12 feet where my friends are, and then once I sit down, I'm allowed to remove my mask. So I just did, I did one of these things, and I said, sweetheart, I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm not trying to get the place shut down, but that's kind of a bullshit. She's like, like she has to kind of go, but she knows what we're talking about. I'm like, that's one, like you said, man, either you play by one rule or you play by none. You shut it down or you just do this namby-pamby. Well, you can close, but the stores can stay open. You can close. I'm like, come on, man.
Nah, either shut it down or say, hey, listen, we know who's vulnerable. We know who the problem people are. Let's protect those people. Let's do the best we can. Because the other thing that they don't want to talk about right now is the death rate is plummeting. So even though the numbers are going up, the death rate, in fact, the CDC even said the death rate is at such a low threshold right now, this doesn't even qualify as a pandemic anymore. That story's not going to make mainstream media.
Sorry, man, I got little kids coming in the house.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to put it on headphones in case.
Oh, yeah, just in case we say some. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I agree with yours. The death toll's so low, I heard they're going to contact the Clintons and they're going to do a couple of calls. Yeah. The next thing you know, off the record.
Hey, by the way, I love you, Hillary. Don't kill me.
Dude, real quick, I got my 91-year-old mother that lives with me here at the house. And, dude, I always do a joke that she doesn't fear COVID. COVID fears catching a case of my mother. Because this chick, she has her Fireball almost every night before, a little bit on the rocks, drinks her
Fireball.
She eats all. I mean, what an appetite out of the roof.
I love it when a comic says that his mother lives with him to kind of justify the fact that he still lives at home.
I didn't want to say the truth that I live with her, but technically on the books.
She moved in with me to her house.
She did.
Yeah. She's not getting gigs anymore.
It's all true. But I don't get her prescriptions at all these stores that are allowed to be open. I was maskless when I was allowed to be. I come home every day from different places. Now, always washing hands, always doing that stuff, cleaning the house. But only once did a friend of mine say, hey, are you afraid about your mother again? And I said, no, because in April, one of the last gigs we had here that I did had about 300 people at a show I emceed, and it was her birthday weekend, and people were literally around her taking pictures. Not one person said, should your mom be here? Like, should she be concerned? No one gave a shit. And God bless her. She's as strong as an ox. So, but I know it's not for everybody. I know 30-year-olds who have died from this. So, I hear it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's a mess.
It is a mess, man. But I just, we could talk about this for hours and hours. But I know, what do you guys, real quick? I know we have not too much comedy going on right now. But what do we have in the future for anyone, Vince, Reno, anything cooking around the back burner that you'll pick up with soon?
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to Zany's in Nashville this weekend just to try to knock the dust off.
All right.
And then I'm going on the road every weekend for a month. But, dude, I've been saying that for the last month and a half, and then it just gets canceled. And, you know, who knows, dude? I'm either going to be firing a nail gun, bitching to myself, just talking to myself, huffing paint fumes like, we're never going to get out of this. Or I'll be doing this on stage. We're never getting out of this. It don't matter.
Well, Broadway kind of killed New York because Broadway came out and said, we're not opening Broadway theaters and shows until January 2021.
Yeah.
So I don't know how comedy clubs in the city turn around and say, well, we're going to open. And, you know, how is that even possible? And, you know, I think with the TV thing, with warm up, it's really going to be who's the first TV show host that's going to say, you know, I think it's safe to bring an audience back in based upon the restrictions, you know, because that's the other thing. Even when they say, all right, you know what, 25% indoor, if you become that first host to say, okay, we're going to, you know, we have 200 seats in here, let's do it. Let's go 50 people, spread them out 6 feet. Let's put them in their groups, their family, whatever. Everyone's going to wear a mask. Then, you know, who's going to be the media person that says, oh my God, I can't believe this person is already bringing, I mean, do you really need it? You've been without an audience all this time. So then there becomes that. So I think it's going to be a matter of once the first TV show host says, screw it, we're going to do it. We feel it's safe enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like 9/11 here in New York. You know, when was it right to start making jokes? You know, and once the first comic did it, it was like, all right, well, I guess we're good.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how in the world it's going to – I just had like 2 fairs cancel for September. And what they were worried about – I don't want to say where they are, but what they were worried about is after Labor Day is when school's supposed to start back. And they're afraid that if somebody comes to see a show at a fair, gets COVID, goes to school, spreads it, they sue the fair's out, and they're off to the races.
Right.
So litigation is going to be a nightmare. I mean, he knows 1,000 times more than me, obviously, about it. But it seems like there's going to be a whole lot of, well, I didn't have it before I went to Chipotle, and now I have it, and diarrhea too, and, you know. Well,
the whole thing, listen, I tried to get, because we have outdoor dining here, we have a couple places that have some, you know, huge areas, rooftop, parking lots, whatever, and they're literally putting, you know, 75 to 100 people, which is completely permissible. Right now in Jersey, it's like 500 or more outdoor is permissible with masks on. And, you know, I talked to one of the owners and he was like, you know what, people need to laugh. Should we come back and do this? And I'm like, you know, I want to do it. And it was my idea originally. And then I kind of pumped the brakes thinking, you know, I'm going to be the guy who's called selfish. You know, we're all struggling, Vin. None of us are getting gigs. None of us are getting shows. Because I saw like some country singer did a show and they were like, dude, you're being selfish. Why don't you just wait? And it's like, you know what? Listen, man, I don't need that right now. And if it's going to bring more negativity and hostility to people that come and me, for 1 or 2 shows, it's not worth it. Now, if the guy said to me, hey, let's make it a weekly thing, I need to get paid. I need to work.
Right. And there's a fine line between how long you can put up with it and you start to go, you know what? If I do a show and people come to see it, we're adults. We made a decision that we were going to do it, and you live with that decision, and then you be responsible. But if you make that decision, when did we stop? We're not even allowed to be adults. You can't choose that. You can't choose what you can talk about. You can't choose when you do a show. You can't choose who comes to your show. I mean, it's supply and demand. If there's enough people out there that are like, I don't care if I get this thing. I'm not listening to you back and forth me for 8 more months while I lose all my livelihood. At some point, what's more important? You know?
Yeah. And listen, and I do daily videos just to kind of keep my fan base, you know, keep active with them. And, you know, everyone's giving me the feedback, hey, we love it. We need to laugh. We need to do this. We need to do that. And that's really the only way I could flex that muscle. And it's frustrating too, because it's like, all right, well, you know, I feel like I'm doing the daily monologue from the desk.
Right.
And, you know, and then, you know, then what happens is you do the thing that you hate to do as a comedian or any performer, is you start reading the comments and looking at the likes to see, all right, are they into this? Are they not? Because as a comic, you know how you're doing immediately,
Right.
you know, the crowd reaction. But with the videos, it becomes this weird thing where you do the one thing that we're trained not to do, which is look at the comments and look at the likes, just put it up there, walk away. And if they like it, great. If not, whatever. Hey, we're going to go to do our stage thing and do our performances anyway. Now it's not like that.
Right.
And I hate looking at comments and threads and, oh, fuck. It's like, whatever, man. I know. I pissed you off. I hit that soft spot, whatever. Fucking don't watch.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
make construction videos. I'm not kidding you. Like I'm like, I got to do something. And they're weird. I'm like singing Wham, riding a bobcat. And I mean, they're stupid. They're just totally ridiculous. But I'm trying to not, I don't care about how people feel politically. Like I have friends that are as far left and far right. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't, I'm not your friend anymore because you didn't vote like me, or you don't like this and I like that. I can't live like that. But making these videos that are so dumb and silly and they just make me laugh. And my mom,
That's it.
My sweet mother got on Twitter for, I don't know why, because of Corona, and she can't leave and she's hunkered in. She hasn't been out in 4 months because it's like a retirement place. You can go to the dentist and that's it, or the doctor or whatever. But she's on Twitter and these things, I'm like, Mom, you don't know what people do on here.
No.
This isn't, I don't even want to be involved in it. And I don't want you involved.
It's a barroom brawl.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
And if you walk in that bar and you try to say anything, it doesn't matter what you say, you're going to get hit with a chair.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just kind of stand outside the bar and watch through the mirror and go, wow, they're really kicking the shit out of each other in there.
Yeah.
This is cool. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, look, friendly animal video, retweet.
I dodge and weave. I'm like, all right, that's it. Nope, not take me down there. I'm not even gonna like that thing because that might make the band.
And then you're like, oh, look, dog and cat playing with each other on the dodo. Retweet.
Do it. Yeah.
Social media has gotten that way where, like, I used to make fun of, you know, back in the day where your friend is showing you, oh, look, I'm having a grilled cheese sandwich for lunch. You're like, who the hell cares? I can't wait for those days to come back again.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to do comedy stuff and do my business on social media, I would be off of Facebook, Twitter. I'm just not, I don't know. It makes me, just to be on it a little bit. Like you said.
Anxiety. Dude, it's anxiety.
Besides sharing like y'all's comedy videos and Larry and Trevor's and everyone who does comedy, the local ones here in Florida, I share that. And like you said, I share dog and puppy videos. I share that stupid stuff because I don't care. I just can't be a part of that, that kind of venom or that poison on there right now.
It's funny, when I started working for the Daily Show, you know, I would keep up with CNN and Fox because I wanted to be, you know, kind of up with the show and what we were doing and be careful about what I did and warm up or not. And then after about a year of it, I'm like, I got to shut it off. And last year, 2019, I'm like, that's it. You know what? I hate both of those channels. I hate MSNBC. I really hate mainstream media completely. I get I read most of my stuff and then I cherry pick what I want to see off of YouTube or whatever. And I have to tell you, when I don't watch news, man, my life is better.
Yep.
You know, when I just can read what I want to read the articles, read the stories, go to websites, go to CDC website, go read shit on my own. I'm in a better mental state, physical state, everything. Whereas you watch news and it's like, oh shit, here we go. And it doesn't matter which side I'm listening to. And that's the bad part. It's, you know, it used to be just Fox. Now it's just everybody because it's like, wow, their ratings are high. Maybe we should do shit journalism too. And then everyone just jumped on that. It's kind of like the politicians did with, you know, when they saw Trump tweeting and everything like that, and they saw the way he ran, it's like, you know, if he goes low, you know, we go high. No, everyone was just like, that works. That's what we're doing. And it's copycat. And it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I got to shut all this shit off, man. I got to turn off and walk away. And man, I live my best life when I do that.
Dude, I'll tell you, the best thing about working construction during all this is not being at home with the news on.
Yeah.
My wife is like, she goes, you're a different person. Because
Yeah.
I wake up with a cup of coffee, pop the news on, let's see. And then I'm like, boom, 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 boom. By noon, I'm pissed. By 5, I'm ready to wreck the house. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, you can't go outside. I don't even care about the coronavirus as much as bothering me, as much as I don't like being told I can't do it.
Right.
Like, you are not going to do this. I think I might. I mean, I ended up in military school when I was 14 because my brain is like that. Don't do this. That must be fun. I think I'll like that. You know, like I'm almost 50 and I'm still like, I don't care. I don't want to give coronavirus to anybody by any means. I don't want to get coronavirus either.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, dude, I got a kid that's going to be in college next year, another one coming up 3 years later. They're both in private school. I need to make money. And
Well, listen, my uncle, got marked off as a coronavirus death. And, I tell people he's one of Cuomo's casualties. He got sent to a facility he shouldn't have been in. He had emphysema, and within 3 days, all of a sudden he's dead of coronavirus. We're like, no, there's no way that thing gets into your system that fast.
right.
And he was literally in his house, didn't leave his house because of his emphysema. And then when he was having a bad bout of it, they send him to the hospital. We're like, this dude was exposed to nobody. And, even his brother, my Uncle John, was just like, there's no way this guy had this. We want to see the report because we don't want you to profit on a family member's death because you get 13 grand more if you mark them off.
That's right.
And, my friend's dad died from, so 4 people, a client of mine, a guy who, was a lawyer that I knew. So I knew immediately out of the gate 4 people that died from this thing. And I was like, hey, listen, if I have to wear a mask wherever I go, I'll wear it. If I don't have to wear it, I won't wear it. I'm going to play by the rules, and I have played by the rules, but just don't change the rules without giving me a basis. If you're going to use science, let it be real science, not political science.
Right.
Let me see exactly where the report is that you're basing it on, as opposed to just, we're getting off on these restrictions like that, that Governor Whitmer in Michigan that was saying, like, you could go to Home Depot but not buy plant seeds. It
Right.
was stuff like that was really giving me anxiety. And I'm like, see, I got to shut off from this because you know what? I don't live in Michigan, and I'm pissed off about Michigan, and I shouldn't give a fuck about Michigan right now because I'm not going to Michigan.
Right.
So I'm stuck in Jersey. So that was when I'm like, all right, shut it off then. Shut it off, walk away. And I have to tell you, I'm much better off for it.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more with
Yeah.
everything you just said.
I'm thinking party this weekend in Nashville. Vince, if you got some time.
Yeah, is that one of those states we're not allowed to go? I know Murphy has a list of states. And he actually said he would like to build a wall around New Jersey if he could, which I thought walls were bad and immoral. But so it depends. If I go to Tennessee, I may have to lock down for 14 days when I get there, and then if I get back to New Jersey, I have to lock down for 14 days. But the good news is because of all the states that we're banning from traveling to or from New Jersey, and you have to quarantine for 14 days. Jets and Giants may not lose a home game this year.
That's right.
Yeah, because those teams are going to come here and have to lock down, so they're not going to be able to play. So we're looking at 8-0 teams here.
Dude, can you imagine, like, if you went into a coma 6 months ago and woke up today?
Yeah, you'd be like,
And you'd look around.
Put me back under.
I know. What did you?
Yeah.
But exactly.
Induce it again. Put me back under. Yeah.
And however you got where you were, give me that. What'd you do?
Yeah.
You slipped in the tub, hit your head. I'm gonna do that tonight. I'm going
put me
home.
back in the shower.
Bust my ass. Yeah. I want to be where you were.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really crazy, man. And it's funny because we were talking about not talking about politics, and the one question I had for Pat before is, well, what's not political now?
Yeah. We just talked about politics the whole time.
And that's the scary thing. It's because, how did everything become political? Like, not everything, like even sports, that was the one thing that you could retreat from life and be like, all right, well, we could go to sports. Sports isn't political. And now sports is, completely political. Now it's what are we going to write on the sidelines? We're going to have 2 national anthems before the first game of the season. All right, well, I can't watch sports. Well, what about TV? No, no. TV shows now, everything is, about being woke and making sure that, certain TV shows don't do this. Get rid of all the cop shows, even the kids' cartoons, get rid of the police dog on what, Paw Patrol or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, oh my God, really? All right, so I can't watch TV anymore. Now what can I do? Can I listen to music?
Yeah.
We have a pandemic going on, killing over 100,000 people. We got protesters, we got looters, and they're taking away guns from cartoon characters.
Yeah. Murder hornets. What do you know about murder hornet? What was that? That was like 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
thing
God.
there, I thought it was here. And apparently it went back. It was like, this country's fucked up. We're going back to China, man.
Oh, it's bad when murder hornets are getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Where I drew
America's-
the line. This is where I drew a line. I don't care what skin color. I happen to be, the right one. That's a joke. That's a joke, for God.
On behalf of myself, and
that
Vinny,
wasn't me.
We have nothing to do with the show.
Fuck Pat Largo, okay? If I see a Pat Largo statue, I'm tearing it up. In fact, if I see anything that's a statue of a Pat, I'm tearing it down now.
Pat Ryan, Pat Riley,
Yeah.
all of them coming down.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is this. So long as I even forgot.
Dig yourself out of that one.
Yeah. No,
I don't even pat people on the head. I dab them now.
yeah.
And I hate Key Largo. Burn Largo.
Once they mess with the Golden Girls, and I read that story, I said this can't be happening now. This can't be happening. So I don't know, but guys, I think we're near. Since I have the free Zoom thing, I think we're nearing in my before they cut us off at the 45-minute mark. So I just want to real quick, Vince August and Reno Collier, thanks for being on with me. And Vince, we'll go with you first. How can people get a hold of you?
Just go on any social media platform and Google Vince August, whether it's YouTube. I have a page. I put up my videos if you're not on Facebook or Twitter. Otherwise, at Vince August.
Very good. And Reno?
You can just come over to my house.
All right, well,
No, I got Twitter and Facebook, and
And you're going to be at Zany's, or what did you say, Zany's?
Yeah, but I wouldn't come to this. I haven't been in front of people for a while. This could go one of two ways. I could lose it, or it could be great, or it could be I swear, dude, it's like I'm a kid again. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, and I kind of like it. It's exciting and fun, but at the same time, it's like, what if I suck? What if what if I go up and it's like, what happened to you, dude?
But you know what? You can't suck any more than life has sucked for people this
true.
whole time. So
That's
anything
true.
out is going to be better.
But my closer is this thing where I repeatedly sneeze into the audience.
Nice. We're all working on that bit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a bit where I just go on stage and cough and go, it's allergies. It's allergies.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
This tour is sponsored by Zyrtec.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That's great. Oh, guys. Well, I got to go practice my putting now because I'm a man of leisure.
So you're a racist, Bob Hope.
Oh, my God. Bob Hopeless is what I am. Anyway, well, Vince August.
Pat, I hope people email the dog shit out of you on this.
We're gonna edit that right out.
Yeah, because everyone's watching a show with three white guys. Everyone's jumping on this one right now.
You guys are jerks.
We're a ready band. Are you kidding me?
We're underground. This is all being done from a bunker.
I was gonna say chop, 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 but that's racial too. I can't get anything out of here.
Me and Reno look like we worked a fucking projector at racist meetings. Are you kidding me? Look at us.
Hey, Vinny, call me.
All right, Vince August, Reno Collier, thanks so much for being a part of Comedians Uncorked, Uncut. Good luck to you guys. Stay healthy, and we hope to do this again sometime soon.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Vinny, that was great, dude. You're a blast.